Are we just saying,
Right. Hello, I'm Alexa Janda.
hi, I'm Olivia Georges?
Hi, I'm Melissa Longman.
And I'm Lauren Kresge.
And here is our program proposal presentation. So Kolbe Academy is a Christ-centered high school that's located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and they provide education and care for students recovering from substance abuse and addiction. So the goal of this proposal is to provide the foundation for a wellness program to be created at Kolbe Academy for the high school students that are in recovery. So Kolbe Academy receives support from various community partners. To name a few, they are supported by the Caron Foundation, Mid-Atlantic Rehabilitation Services, and Huntington Creek Recovery Center. So, however, none of the organizations that they're partnered with provide occupational therapy services. So the mission of Kolbe Academy's wellness program is to provide OT services to students recovering from substance abuse and addiction by addressing occupational needs to fill the gap in their individualized recovery. So previous literature shows that engaging in meaningful roles and patterns, establishing a routine, utilizing coping strategies, and increasing social inclusion is beneficial for those in recovery. And OTs take a holistic approach, so they consider the occupational performance, the individual skills, and the environment in order to support daily activities that will contribute to a sense of satisfaction and also reduce the risk for a relapse. So in summary, there's an abundance of evidence that demonstrates the importance of OT services for individuals that are navigating their own recovery process. So federal, state, and state legislation. There's numerous systems that have established legislation that provide support for individuals with addiction. To name a few, there's the Department of Drug and Alcohol Programs and the U.S. Department of Education. So it is noted that mental health is within the scope of practice for occupational therapy, and OT practitioners are equipped to provide services that support mental health and wellness. To follow national requirements, all OT practitioners working in the Wellness Center will be required to have their national board certification in order to be registered, and they must be licensed in the state of Pennsylvania.
Okay, so now we're going to go into our business plan that we created for Kolbe Academy in regards to occupational therapy. For outcome measures, we created 5 outcome measures that will be used to analyze the impact of the Kolbe Academy Wellness Program towards the students' recovery. The first one is a Qualtrics survey with the XM platform for confidentiality. The survey will ask questions regarding where they are in their recovery process, and this will be given to them during the evaluation and at discharge. The second one is the COPM, which is used to capture the student's self-perception of performance in their everyday living, and the results will give the OT an idea of what should be worked on during therapy sessions, and this can be used as a pre and post measurement for comparison. Grades and attendance to academic classes is another outcome measure. The fourth one is an interview with parents, the student, and the therapist, which will be used as an understanding of behaviors at home that might need to be considered during therapy. The interviews will also be given routinely to assess progress. And the fifth and last outcome measure is progress reports from OT documentation. And the progress reports will be conducted every 3 months and will be used to determine if goals are met or not, or if they're progressing, and OTs can make adjustments if needed. So for goals, there's 5 goals for service delivery. The first one, the Wellness Center at Kolbe Academy will provide therapeutic services to 15 students within the first year of the start of the program. The second one is that the COPM will be used as a pre-post measurement and will be administered to students continually throughout their treatment. The third one is informational brochures will be created and distributed within the first year to raise awareness to students, faculty, and parents on how OTs can help those in recovery. Fourth, the recovery model will be utilized as a guide for treatment sessions to facilitate resiliency, health, wellness, and support to mental and physical well-being. And 5, the OT Code of Ethics will be used as a guide to follow in order to ensure safe and ethical practice during all sessions at the Wellness Center. So the theoretical model that we chose was the recovery model, which was mentioned within one of the goals. And this was chosen because it's person-centered and client-driven. The main principle of this model is that a person with mental illness can recover and lead meaningful, satisfying lives. And the model emphasizes the importance of making healthy choices to support mental and physical well-being, living in a safe and stable environment, participating in meaningful activities, and having supportive relationships. So OTs can use this holistic approach as a guide for treatment with those suffering from substance abuse. So in addition to the recovery model, OTs will refer to the code of ethics to make sure that they're ensuring safe and ethical practice. Since they are doing the services at Kolbe Academy, they will need to make sure to abide by the policies, procedures, and protocols because they're acting on behalf of a professional organization. They will also bill and collect fees justly and legally. When documenting services, they will ensure that it's done in accordance with applicable laws, guidelines, and regulations, and they will promote equality and inclusion while providing those services.
So now to get into the details of the logistics of the program. So for the staff, Kolbe Academy currently only has 7 students, so our staff looks pretty small right now. We have 1 OT that we've proposed to work there, and that gives us a 1-to-7 ratio. But as Kolbe Academy expands and as we hope our program expands, we plan to have another CODA, an OT assistant, or another occupational therapist there. So the timeline of the development of this program is broken down into 4 stages. The first stage is the planning stage, and that's where we are currently right now. This is projected to take about 2 months. The next stage is the preparatory stage. This is currently projected to take about 6 months. This is where we will be applying for grants and reaching out to our community partners to let them know our plans and see if they have any additional support, resources, or funding. And the third is the implementation phase. That will take about 4 months, we've projected. And this is once the grant is given, this is how we're designing our space and developing the software to document the students' progress. And then the last stage is the evaluation stage. This is a shorter stage, it'll take about a month. And this is where we're choosing the assessments that we'll use that Olivia spoke about previously and taking our measures for our pre and post to track project process and writing our goals. So to get into the funding of how this program will happen, first we put together a proposed budget that you can see. This is broken up into direct and indirect services to break down our income. So direct services and indirect services together will make a total of $78,000 roughly. And as Kolbe Academy students grow, this income will grow significantly. As you can see going down, we have our rent and insurance and other expenses. Built into this is patient or employee benefits. And then our startup budget and a budget for technology and making our software for our students to track their progress and make sure that we're documenting confidentially. So in here, we have a grant proposal funding of $15,000 that's built in, and this will primarily be used for a startup budget, which will give a lot more sustainability to the budget in the future years when we don't have that grant income. After that, with our total expenses, it'll come out to a net income of $8,800. And this can change a little bit depending on how much we have to spend to start up. So grant funding, we've located 10 grants that we were eligible for, and we chose the 2 that we felt the best about to apply to or to propose to apply to. The first one is the Two Rivers Health and Wellness Foundation. This is located right in Northampton. It's a nonprofit foundation, and they particularly gear the funding that they give to helping their local community. So we feel like it's a really good chance for us since Kolbe Academy is located locally. And then the second one is the Donald B. and Dorothy L. Stabler Foundation. This is also located in Pennsylvania, but not quite as locally. They state that they put their funding towards charitable, religious, scientific, literary, and educational purposes. So because of that, we feel that Kolbe Academy really fits the image of who they usually give their money to and to help out. So we feel like we have a good chance with that. And it's also, they usually award their programs locally in Pennsylvania also.
Okay, so to get into the program evaluation model, we use the logic model as a guide for the Kolbe Academy Wellness Program, and this is kind of going to allow us to like test ourselves and see how well our program is doing and make necessary adjustments along the way. So this is the logic model that we came up with, and we have inputs, outputs, and outcomes. And the outcomes are going to be highlighted in the program evaluation model. And some of them include increased participation in therapy services, development of healthy coping skills and alternative behaviors, and then the impacts of those may be increased awareness of treatment for substance abuse, human health improvements. And in addition to this, a quality management system, a QMS, is going to be administered to staff and administration of Kolbe Academy. And this will kind of allow us to get the input on how they feel our program is going, and make necessary adjustments. And this will be distributed twice within the first 2 years of the program, and followed by an annual distribution. And then we also have the client satisfaction survey, and this is going to be distributed to student and parents of the Kolbe Academy Wellness Program. It's a 5-question survey. It's Likert scale: disagree, somewhat disagree, neutral, somewhat agree, agree. And then there's 5 statements that they're going to be asked, and we can kind of assess how our program's going based on this, and if the students and the parents feel like we need to make necessary adjustments to our program. And hopefully we can use this to kind of gain students at the Wellness Center. And then our marketing program. So the marketing is really important, as we are like a startup program, and we have 5 goals. So the first one is based on informational flyers that will be posted around Kolbe Academy to raise awareness to the students. The second one will be OTs will connect with community partners, and like we said, Kolbe Academy has a lot of them, and this will kind of assist with like the social media marketing. And then the Kolbe Academy does have a YouTube channel, so we can utilize that as a platform to advertise OT. Within the first year, the wellness program will coordinate awareness campaigns on online platforms, like we said, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, to get the word out. And Occupational Therapy Month is April, and Substance Abuse Addiction Awareness Month is October, so we can do things like that to kind of get the word out for our program. And then the last one is the wellness program will connect with the school principal for collaboration on updating the school website to make sure that they're highlighting the wellness center, so parents and students can get more information easily through that. And then we did conduct a knowledge disparity survey. We sent this out to high school students and individuals who have supported loved ones through recovery from substance abuse and addiction. We wanted to get a better understanding on how the public understands occupational therapy in general and the substance abuse and addiction population. So again, this was sent out through Qualitrix, and we got 40 responses, and this was the Likert scale. They had 4 Likert scale questions to answer, and then an open-ended question: how would you define occupational therapy? Results for the high school students, they were split when asked about the potential benefits of occupational therapy, with 4 students saying that they disagreed or somewhat disagreed, and 5 students saying that they somewhat agreed or agreed. 8 out of 10 students reported that they were aware occupational therapists are employed in schools. And then the results from the individuals who have supported loved ones through recovery and substance abuse, they were neutral when they asked a good understanding of occupational therapy, but results were divided when asked about the benefits of occupational therapy services for ththose with addiction. 60% of participants weren't aware that occupational therapists are employed in schools, and 30% of individuals reported that they would have considered seeking an occupational therapist for substance abuse and addiction. And we can kind of take the results from the knowledge disparity survey and plan accordingly, maybe advocating for our profession, or making sure the public is understanding how we can benefit substance abuse and addiction. And then the marketing budget. So currently we didn't feel like it was in the best interest to put money towards this at this time, but as the program becomes not a startup, or we start having more money, maybe we can utilize this in the future. But mostly we're just going to be sticking to social media strategies. And the return on the investment, like Melissa went through with the budget, the net income for the startup Kolbe Academy Wellness Program came to $8,800, but we're hoping that this will increase. And then these are all of our references for this program proposal. And we also attached 2 grant applications at the bottom, just to give everyone a perspective on what goes into them, and to kind of do some head on the work. So thank you so much.